Hi, Misha here, and I went ahead and picked it up because why not? Fuck it. The Landram from Eaglemoss's official collection of Battlestar Galactica models. And I mostly picked it up because of boredom, also because we just don't have much to represent the original series. And just for size comparison, I brought out the Mark I Viper from TOS. As you can see, they scale pretty well if we kind of use the guns and the cabins as a base point for comparison. Looks like they would fit pretty similar. And this is a die-cast model, and it's a couple of issues old right now. And I am basically a ship person, be it, small-scale fighters or Battlestars. But I figured, why not? But I don't think I'll be doing much in the tank field. Comes with the usual base, low mount, has these little pegs that pretty neatly fit into the tracks, which is good. It should stay pretty stable. So yeah, this is a tracked vehicle. Unfortunately, the tracks don't move. They're just there. But that's to be expected. Eaglemoss models are always static. But the good news is, even though the tracks don't move, it's very heavy die cast. It's essentially a block of metal. The turret on top is plastic. Part of the back is plastic, part's metal. The front is metal. And the base with the tracks is plastic. So pretty standard. Kind of how they make die-cast models. So yeah, this is in the original Battlestar Galactica series, and it's actually in the pilot episode. We see it being used to evacuate from a few different planets. We also see it used later in the second episode to land and scout on Cobol. And we see an Arctic version, cold weather version, on the ice planet. And according to the Battlestar Wiki, we also see a version without the compartment in the series. And like a lot of original series designs, this did carry over to the remastered, at least a version of it. It's in the Battlestar Galactica Museum, meaning that it was used in the first Cylon War. And then subsequently, the model appears being used as kind of a tractor, a tug on the flight deck, which is actually quite correct. Modern aircraft carriers use vehicles, usually wheeled, not tracked, but, needs must if it existed. So technically it exists in both universes. Not a whole lot of tech specs. I mean, it's tracked, so it's probably not terribly fast. One thing to point out too, the tracks, it's a pretty tall vehicle, meaning it could potentially be kind of top heavy. We have 2 guns and a turret here. This seems to be the primary kind of defense. Looks like it has a cockpit with 2 positions. And so it could carry crew or cargo in the back. And we see in the original series, these are brought down in shuttles, which makes sense for the small size. Just kind of a militarized multi-purpose vehicle, somewhere between like an APC and a Humvee, in that range. It's very heavy, I'll give it that. And you know, today the Viper and even the Galactica are kind of iconic designs and easily identified with Battlestar Galactica. But this is pretty generic sci-fi, even, you know, could be passed as more or less modern military tracked vehicle. In the 70s and 80s, of course, Battlestar Galactica was just another in a long line of series. To that end, this model was reused at least a couple of times, including in the Buck Rogers series around the same time. And it doesn't scream particularly, hey, Battlestar Galactica. But to be fair, nothing did. If you really think about the original Viper, it's an X-Wing inspired design. This 3 wings and 2 guns as opposed to 4 wings and 4 guns. But the nose and everything. But there and again, the X-Wing itself was inspired by World War II fighters, and so you could say the same about this. As far as Galactica, as a friend recently described it, it's kind of like a slug with a head and 2 pods. And the original Galactica model, of course, was built with bits and pieces from other model kits, including battleships and things. Just making a point that they were just kind of, well, I mean, it was a TV show on a TV budget and only had 1 season. But in that season, we see this craft in a few different forms, 3 or 4 times. This seems to be their primary ground craft, and useful for a few different roles. And of course, like anything where you have actors, they had to kind of design it to be boxy so it could be on set, kind of like the TOS shuttle. Well, heck, even the TNG shuttles. Because they had to build it out of plywood and whatnot, and it had to be something the actors could interact with. You at least have it in the background where it looked appropriate. That's about it. Don't really know any tech specs. But I figured, why not? It'd be kind of neat if the tracks moved, but I did not expect them to, because that's just not what they're going for with Eaglemoss. They're going for display models. And to be fair, rubber doesn't exactly age great unless you use really good rubber, so probably for longevity this is a better answer. It comes with the regular magazine, and again, it comes with this numbered base for whatever that's worth. I actually do like the Eaglemoss bases. So while I still prefer the Vipers and the Battlestars, once in a while a secondary ship like this, or craft like this I should say, is nice to have. So, just thought I would bring it to you since I've done all the other Battlestars. What do you think of it? Anyone else pick one up? It really is heavy. It's over 1 pound. Wouldn't want to get hit by it. Yep, definitively metal. Alrighty guys, I appreciate you tuning into this pretty short video, at least for me. If you have any questions or comments, or if you can add any information to the Landram, please do so in the comments. And as always, if you could, like, share, and subscribe. This is Misha, and I'll catch you very soon next time.